I have a third question, if that's okay to ask right now.
Sure.
So I know, like for cover letter, there's definitely a part of the paragraph where we can point it out, like how many coffee chat we have with different bankers from this bank. So in this case, like when we submit our application to different banks, do we just have to, like for example, some banks that we have coffee chat with like 5 people, and some banks that we didn't even have one coffee chat? Like how do we manage this with the cover letter that needed to be submitted in the application?
So is the question just like, if you haven't networked with anyone at the firm, what do you say on the cover letter for the part where you typically would name drop?
Yeah.
I mean, if you haven't talked to anyone at the firm, then you just can't name drop. So like, then you just would leave that part out, right? But like, when you say like name drop, like you're probably just talking about like the very first paragraph where you're like explaining why you're interested in applying to this firm, right?
Hmm.
So like, that doesn't have to be the only reason why you're interested in applying to this firm, right? Like, my point is that you can be interested in a firm for a lot of reasons. It doesn't have to be because you talk to someone. We just like, if you have talked to someone, like, we like to weave that in if you can. But like, if you haven't talked to someone, you can't just make stuff up, right? Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes sense.
So like
Thanks.
Nico says, normally I just say a compelling fact or something. Yeah, exactly. So you need to like, that's where you have to like do a little bit of research on the firm, like go look around their website or go like Google maybe an interview that like their CEO did, or like the head of investment banking did this interview and said XYZ like things about this company or whatever, right? Like you can find plenty of reasons for why a firm is attractive. Without and by the way, like he was like, hey, same thing for interview answers. Like someone said, hey, I haven't networked with anyone and somehow I got an interview. That happens sometimes. Like, well, what do I say when I'm answering the question like, why do I want to work for this bank? Because usually you want to weave in your conversations with like people that work at the firm that you've already talked to, right? And so you haven't talked to anyone, it's hard to do that. And so the thing you could do is that I like to do is like go find like a podcast interview that they were on, or it doesn't have to be a podcast interview. These people get interviewed by financial publications all the time, like Bloomberg or Wall Street Journal or whatever. Like just Google the name of someone really senior at the firm and try to find something, right? They sometimes like on YouTube, there are videos of like some of these people being interviewed on stage at an event or at a business school or whatever, and then like just try to pick out like one or two things that they said, and usually they're going to say something nice about the company that they're working for. We're going to talk about something about their strategy, or something about how we're going to be aggressively expanding our investment banking business because we believe this is like the biggest area of growth for us this year, like blah blah blah, like anything like that you can use as a talking point, right? Does that make
Okay.
sense? So it's almost like
Yeah.
you spoke to this person without actually speaking to this person, because they're like they're public figures, right?
Okay. And I assume that those like podcasts should be like recent podcasts, right? And the better
Yeah, I mean,
senior level they have, the better.
the more recent the better. And then like in terms of seniority, you don't really have to worry about that because usually no one's gonna get interviewed unless they're pretty senior anyway. Like nobody's interviewing like anyone below like the managing director level, I don't think. So
Okay. Yeah, that's true though. Thanks.
yep. Hey there, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you're looking for more customized advice that's tailored for your specific situation, then I invite you to book a free strategy session with our team at the link below. We'll talk to you soon.